In justice to one, Emma was a young lady known for her kindness and empathy. Every morning, she took the train to work, passing by countless faces lost in their lives. The train ride was usually uneventful, filled with the mundane sounds of chattering commuters, the rustling of newspapers, and the giggling noise of the trains on the tracks. Emma boarded the train one morning and noticed a commotion in one of the carriages. A group of men was harassing a woman, their words sharp and their laughter cruel. The woman's eyes darted, pleading for help, but the passengers around her remained silent, their gazes fixed firmly on the ground. Fear and indifference created an invisible barrier that no one dared to cross. Emma felt a surge of anger and a pang of sorrow. She knew that this scene was not unique. Women were harassed on trains, in parks, in workplaces, and on streets, their cries for help often falling on deaf ears. Injustice thrived in silence, and the perpetrators counted on that silence to continue their reign of terror. She thought of the countless stories she had heard of racial, sexual, and religious discrimination. Stories of people judged, mistreated, and marginalized simply because of who they were. Despite living in an era where the ideals of equality and justice were celebrated, the reality often told a different story. Discrimination persisted, fueled by the complacency and apathy of those who chose to stay silent. Emma knew she had to act. She couldn't bear to be a silent witness to such cruelty. She took a deep breath and stepped forward, her voice steady but loud enough to cut through the train's noise. "Stop," she shouted. "Leave her alone." The train carriage fell silent, all eyes now on Emma. The men looked at her, surprised and somewhat taken aback. One of them sneered, but Emma stood her ground, her eyes blazing with determination. "This is not right," she continued. "We cannot allow this to happen. We need to stand up for each other." Her words seemed to break the spell. Slowly, other passengers began to rise from their seats. A man stepped forward, then another woman. Soon, a group formed around Emma, and their presence was a united front against the bullies. Faced with this unexpected resistance, the men grumbled and retreated, disappearing into another carriage. The woman who had been harassed looked at Emma with gratitude, tears of relief streaming down her face. "Thank you," she whispered. "Thank you for standing up for me." Emma smiled, her heart swelling with a mixture of relief and pride. She knew that her actions had made a difference for the woman she had helped and everyone on that train. She had shown them the power of standing up against injustice, the strength that came from unity and courage. As the train continued its journey, Emma thought about the world she wanted to live in, a world where people stood up for each other, where injustice and unfairness were met with unwavering resistance. She knew it wasn't enough to be kind in private. One had to be brave in public. The perpetrators of injustice thrived on the belief that the majority would stay silent, but Emma had proven them wrong. She had shown that when people stood together, they could create a force powerful enough to challenge and overcome even the most entrenched injustices. From that day on, Emma became a beacon of hope and courage in her city. Her actions inspired others to speak out and stand up for what was right, creating a ripple effect throughout the city. Slowly, the culture of silence began to erode, replaced by a community that valued and protected each of its members. Ultimately, it wasn't just about standing up for others. It was about creating a world where everyone could stand tall, free from fear and injustice. Emma's story was a testament to the power of courage and the importance of standing up for what was right, reminding us all that silence is not an option in the face of injustice.